Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching today's weather outlook for the southern region brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. Let's take a look at the last 72 hours of total accumulated precipitation. We can see that right here along the lower Mississippi River Valley, we picked up quite a bit of precipitation, especially right down here along the Gulf. This is an area that, believe it or not, actually needs the precipitation, especially down here close to the Gulf. Now, yes, the Mid-South has been extremely wet so far this year, but when you look at our latest drought monitor update, we can see that this region and through here, when we look at kind of the longer standing drought picture, is dry. We have to bring in some precipitation early this season. Now the problem is rain coming in right now is a problem for our spring field work. But I would much rather have that rain now and get it into the soil, get that moisture in place, so that later on this summer, if we have any sort of potential for having a hotter and drier summer, we've got some early season moisture already around. Just to show you why the drought monitor is picking up on that, I went and showed you the year-to-date. This is the year-to-date percent of normal precipitation, and we can see while the Mid-South has been exceptionally wet, major flooding, we can see that getting down toward the Gulf Coast, a lot of these states are still picking up on a bit of a drier bias. Now, one thing is for sure, our next 7 days and actually the next couple of weeks are going to be extremely wet. This is the operational European model run taking you all the way out to next Friday morning. We're watching multiple systems coming through here. Now, this rain right in through parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, and the northern parts of Mississippi and Alabama, that rain in through this region is not welcomed. You know, this is we're incredibly saturated, and we're going to be putting down potentially with some stronger thunderstorms even another couple of inches of rain. The rain that's down here along the Gulf Coast states will be coming in again with some stronger thunderstorms. So we're expecting quite a bit of rainfall over the next few weeks. If I could tell you, the folks here in the southern region, if there's something to be thankful about, this precipitation you see are forecast by the model coming in late next week for parts of the Corn Belt, it's likely that could be a big snowstorm. So I'm not happy about that, but certainly this is a very wet pattern showing up here. It's also stormy. Let's start off first by looking at our Friday map from the Storm Prediction Center. We're going to be watching throughout the day on Friday for a boundary to emerge out of parts of New Mexico, and as it does so, the threat for isolated supercell thunderstorms out ahead of the main boundary here is certainly a cause of concern. So isolated, strong thunderstorms, and then we're going to watch a system push through a more linear system. So this will be a squall line slide through this area as we get into the late night hours. As we move into Saturday and this next shortwave kind of comes through, we're going to expand where we're watching for the severe weather threat across much of the southern region here west of the Mississippi River, getting into Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, and Oklahoma. And then by the time we get into Sunday, you can see that severe weather threat transitions to the east a bit, but it's expanding. And this is going to move here on Monday. So we are watching several days in a row here of some very stormy conditions as we progress throughout the next 5 to 10 days. So let's kind of take a look at what's causing this. We're going to go to the upper levels of the atmosphere. The first big feature is this long, fast-moving piece of the jet stream here that's in the Gulf of Alaska and the East Pacific. Our trough we're concerned with early Friday morning that will be emerging south of the Four Corner States, causing problems in Texas, is right here over the Baja of California. So as you play this forward, you can see that as I get you through the day on Friday evening, it's now kind of ejected right into this area, and as it does so, that's going to provide some of the upper level support over this region to bring in those severe storms on Friday. Well, that trough moves slowly across Texas, getting over toward Louisiana. Look at this. I got you out to Monday now. Just a slow progression of that trough. And so that's why there's a multi-day severe weather event with that trough as I kind of rock back and forth here across the southern region. Now after this, the main feature we're watching for next week, middle and end of next week, is this much deeper trough moving through the middle part of the country. We'll have a big surge of moisture, a big warm-up out ahead of it, and that is going to set up the stage as it drags its front right down here through the southern region for another severe weather outbreak. Now, what's interesting about this next trough is what's going on over Greenland. You see this large ridge over Greenland? You know, this time of year we have to watch Greenland or we have to watch Alaska. Now, the good news is the trough that's moving through the middle part of the country isn't anchored to a deeper trough that's sitting somewhere here over the Hudson Bay or the Great Lakes. If that was the case, we'd have a very, very cold pattern setting up. But this bigger ridge sitting over Greenland is going to keep this region extremely active with shortwave troughs that come across the United States. So just think, it's just kind of sitting up here and spinning like this, and it's guiding all of these systems, pushing that colder air into the middle part of the country, and with it, the chance for some unsettled and very strong thunderstorms in addition to that unsettled weather pattern. So you're going to see that one move through. This is the end of next week. And look, see another trough comes here out of the Four Corners states. And so for the southern region, our next 15 to possibly even stretching this out even farther, maybe 20 to 30 days is going to be quite wet and quite unsettled. The temperatures are going to be on a bit of a roller coaster ride. We're going to go up and down, but it's going to be quite active. So let's now switch over to look at the timing of this event. We're going to get this going all the way to early Friday morning here. And what we're going to be watching throughout much of the day on Friday, it's going to be this area riding through here that's going to have the chance for some coastal stronger thunderstorms that are going to basically pop up right there on the coast. But then we're watching late in the night, so this will be a Friday evening. There's some of the discrete supercell thunderstorms that are emerging here in parts of West Texas. But we're going to watch for this line feature to show up in the overnight hours, in this late evening overnight hours. And that particular feature could produce some strong straight line winds and some damaging conditions here. Meanwhile, I know I kind of skipped over the Carolinas. Boy, you're going to be dealing with, on the day on Friday, quite a bit of precipitation here with the system that's currently exiting. So we're going to deal with all that rainfall moving out throughout the afternoon hours on Friday. But again, it's going to be right here along the tail end of that boundary, that front that the storm's going to kick up on Friday. Okay, so let's now get you into Saturday. By the time we get into Saturday mid-morning, that feature that we were watching is going to be spreading here to the east, and with it some strong straight-line winds, and that's where our Saturday severe weather threat again emerges into this area. And then this will only take us out, this high-resolution view here will only take us out through Saturday night to early Sunday morning. But you can see the storm's progressing there to the lower Mississippi River Valley. Out ahead of it, just widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. And then by the time we get into Sunday, the system, again, remember it's a slow mover, it reinvigorates, and we're watching this whole area for the potential for strong to severe storms. So we've got a very stormy week and weekend coming up here. Now let's switch gears and go over to our European model. We know that Friday throughout the day, a lot of scattered showers and thunderstorms for parts of the Carolinas, Virginia, and sneaking all the way back down here on the tail end of that front, getting you through parts of the Panhandle, Florida, over toward Louisiana. Well, we've talked about this system getting us out through Sunday morning, so let's just get to Sunday morning. You're going to see it reinvigorate here along the lower Mississippi River Valley. And there it goes. There's our strong to severe thunderstorm threat throughout the day on Sunday into Sunday evening, primarily confined to this area. But that heavy rain moves east as this low develops right here in Arkansas, Mississippi, a little bit farther south than where it was a couple days ago. But out ahead of it, a lot of warm air advection, a lot of moisture with that. So we're going to be really soaking Tennessee and Kentucky while bringing strong to severe storms all through the southern region here east of the Mississippi River. And that system takes a while. It doesn't get out of there until next Tuesday afternoon, evening. And then here comes the big dog right in the middle part of the country. Now, I know you're looking at this going, wait a minute, this is next Wednesday night. I got this big cyclone. Where's all the precipitation for the southern region? It'll be there, I promise you. Plenty of warm, moist air coming up here. The front stretched right back into this area. We're going to light this region up again with strong to severe storms, while parts of the north central plains get snow out of this. And you'll see that by next weekend, that tail end of that front presses all the way toward the East Coast here. So very active time period coming up here. If we take a moment and go away from the precip and come back to temperatures, look at what the temperature pattern is going to do. It's going to be on a roller coaster. Friday afternoon highs are cooler than average due to the cloud cover here in the Carolinas and Virginia, but watch the surge, the warm-up that's coming out ahead of this next system. So with these strong storms, we are going to be really warm and juicy here. This is getting you through Sunday into Monday. Temperatures 10 to 15 degrees above average for a lot of the country, but specifically the southern region. Now, as that shortwave trough moves through, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, wherever there is cloud cover and rain, it'll be a little bit cooler than average. But look at the warm-up that's going to happen out ahead of this big system next Wednesday into Thursday. This is a powerful low-pressure system. This will bring in the moisture. This will bring in the humidity. And I tell you, it's going to light up again middle to end of next week here for severe weather. Very stormy next 7 to 10 days. But after that comes through, we get this dish of cooler air. See it sinking all the way through here, where temperatures might be at times, 10 to 15 degrees cooler than average, with the cool down that would be coming behind this next system. So we're going to go into the middle of the month with a bit of a cool down with this next system. And just tell you something, gosh, this thing is not slowing down at all for us in the southern region. That's why week 2 precipitation anomalies keep much of the south in the wetter pattern here. So until we get rid of that huge ridge that's sitting here, we're going to keep getting these shortwave troughs that kind of move through, and with each one the chance for more precipitation. So this is staying wet. And I just got this last night, so I'm excited to share it with you. This is the new long-range update from the European model. It comes out on the 5th of every month, 0Z. So what we've got here is the forecast for precipitation anomalies in April on the left and May on the right. We can clearly see that our severe weather threat region is kind of confined into here, although this doesn't mean that we won't get some of these high plains and central plains severe thunderstorms. We're going to keep things quite wet across much of the southern region throughout the month of April, and then look at May. What this suggests to me is that we're going to continue to see a flow pattern doing something like this, where a lot of times we'll have ridging over the southeast, but with that bringing in plenty of moisture. And so I think we're going to go from a dry start to the year to a relatively wet spring moving forward. So this is what we're preparing for right now, and it's just something where we're going to watch this week by week. We give you 4 videos a week that focus on the south here, so please keep a look at an outlook at this. And then finally, don't forget, on Wednesdays we release our long-range forecast every week, so we'll kind of see what the next 2 to 6 weeks looks like there. So we have a pattern that's going to be very active, but it looks as though our temperatures overall are going to be warm. So this is April on the left and May on the right. We're looking here at temperatures, and it appears as though spring, which is early right now for a lot of the Gulf Coast states, is going to continue to stay on that earlier trend. When I see the cooler anomalies tucked away right in through here, though, in May, that to me spells active severe weather season for parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, so be prepared for that. Okay, with that, I'm going to go and wrap up this forecast video. We have Nutrien Ag Solutions, so we look forward to our next southern region forecast coming out on Tuesday morning. In the meantime, I hope you have a great weekend. Be careful with those severe storms in the next several days, but I'll talk to you again next week. Thank you.